and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Saieed Ali, a spiritual consultant and real estate businessman. Remember, for those of you that are having spiritual problems, you can feel free to contact me. Those of you who have properties to sell or looking for a property to buy, you can also contact me. And if you lend your friend and your family your hard-earned cash and you cannot get it back, once you have an agreement with them, feel free to contact us at Real Talk, that collection department. We will be glad to assist you. So I want to say a special good night to those of you that are on our Facebook page, Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Like and share our page as we go live. Now I encourage you to encourage your friends and your family to share our page as we go live. You see, we want everyone in Trinidad and Tobago to know that Real Talk is the #1 current affairs program in Trinidad, where you can actually highlight a matter. You can actually call in our studio, 238-6716, and make your comments live on national television. So the entire population of Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension, around the world, would understand what is taking place in Trinidad. You see, viewers, we give you that opportunity. This is news from 7 to 8 p.m., but we go into depth. Why did we go into depth as far as letting you all call? Because we want Trinidad and Tobago to understand that there are communities in our little island that need help. They are voicing their concern. Now, you would voice your concern on a protest. One day you have a protest and that is it. After that, it goes down. But when you call in, the world is here, what is taking place in that community. So I want to say a special good night to you. Those of you that are on our YouTube, subscribe to Real Talk, TT Real Talk, and you will know when we go live. So share our page, viewers, as we go live. Encourage your friends and your family. Send your little WhatsApp message. Call your friends and family. Tell them, hey, Real Talk is going live with Saieed Ali. And let them know what we are doing on Real Talk with Saieed Ali. So viewers, feel free to call in 238-6716 on our live program. And let's hear what you have to say concerning issues that is affecting you in your community in this country. 238-6716. So as we start off tonight, remember, this is Trinidad. A new government has sworn in. The PNM administration. So let's see what they are going to do for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago as to better them off. So as we start off tonight, several parts of North Trinidad were left battling floodwaters this afternoon following heavy rainfall. Some of the affected areas include Oropun Garden, Factory Road in Piaco, and Dabadi. The Met Office this afternoon issued an advisory weather yellow alert bulletin. It noted that there is a high potential of the development of a heavy and intense showers and thunderstorm during this afternoon, in which noted can result in rapid street or flash flooding. Met Office added that gusty winds may be in excess of 45 miles per hour. So viewers, it's Tuesday night, and I want to let you know that this afternoon into tonight, you can look out for some thunder showers, according to the Met Office. So this is just an update before we go into our show. I want you to understand, look out for rain, thunder showers. In some parts of Trinidad, we saw lightning, we saw floods. So this is just an update before we go further, and to be aware. If you have documents, you live in a flooded area, please secure your documents. Residents of Aruca District contacted Tunapuna Regional Corporation to assist in losses due to the flooding over the weekend. If you live in these areas, please call in. Let us know what your situation is. Maybe somebody in Trinidad and Tobago could assist you. Now listen to this. However, Even though the Aruka district calling to Tunapuna Regional Corporation for help, listen to this. However, the corporation told the residents to contact the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management, that is the ODPM, whose number were unreachable. Now, this is an emergency. ODPM, when we have torrential rainfalls and flood, this is the Office of Disaster and Management. Call them. But for the citizens of Aruka district, when they call in the ODPM, their numbers were unreachable. Unreachable. Caller, good night.
Good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead, my friend.
Saeed, it's alleged. The government put all the money, right? Now they want to bring property tax to us. Oh, God, studying what we going to eat? What we going to eat? Grass? Them only come to factory and we all kind of manner evil man. People are trying to build. We have to stand up against these people. Rowley don't like nobody. Them have we struggling to even survive right now. I'm not saying that, you know, they have to take away my property.
Thank you, my friend. So listen to this. Flooding issues again concerning drainage now. Residents of Walker Street, Frederick Settlement, says the drain in the area has not been cleaned for more than 8 years. For more than 8 years. Now this is a concern. Why? There's a blockage of water. Plus with the stagnant water, what you are seeing there, that was a live video. We went and took that ourselves. That is exclusive video. We went and took that ourselves. And that is the condition. 8 years and they haven't cleaned the drain. Which means, viewers, part of the UNC and PNM paid no attention. No attention. As a result, they are plagued with flooding whenever it rains. Yesterday, some residents woke up to flood during the overnight rain. They say the councillor for the area has failed to address the situation. Remember, just before election, we had a call-in program for almost a week before election. What did your councillor do? All remember that? One resident explained that during the election campaign, the now member for parliament for the area, Dinesh Rambali, promised to address the matter once he gets into government. The area falls under the jurisdiction of the Tunapuna Regional Corporation. So like I said, it's promises by promises by promises. And where do we go from there? You see, I'm going to tell you something. When a flood occurred, and the neighborhood lose, no member of the councillor, of the MP, the senators, you see, they don't lose anything. They don't lose anything. You know what is going through their mind? Okay, there are numerous stores throughout Trinidad and Tobago where you can get higher purchases item. So you go in, and you take out your higher purchase, and you will get your appliances and furniture back into your house. But what about you already furnish your house on higher purchase, and a second flood come? So where you going? You ain't pay out the first one, so you're going back and take another set of higher purchase? Who's going to give you? Nobody. No business is going to furnish your house on higher purchase and then go back for a second furnishment again. You won't get it. You wouldn't get it. So Walker Street Frederick Settlement, they are calling now on their MP to fulfill his promise. And I do business who he is, you know, light you up on TV. I do business who he is. Get down to what you promised the people. That is my thing. That is why I said for election time, don't expect to see side on a platform because I will be picking sides. And I ain't doing that. You have UNC, you have PNM. You in power, I would light you up if you're doing nothing. You in power, I would light you up if you're doing nothing. That's what I tell people. That's what I tell people. I don't beg for ads. You see, sometimes when you hear you have ads running, you have to zip your mouth halfway into what you're saying. And I'm not going down that road. I'm not going down that road. Caller, good night.
Very good evening to you, sir.
To you, my friend.
I am trying to tell you this, and I'm trying to keep calm, but I don't know if you might be calm when you hear what I have to say. So today at licensing office in Kearney, they had people for the after lunch appointment line up on the outside of the building. Rain started to fall so heavy. Everyone was soaking wet from your underwear, your shoes, everything. Then they opened the door, and there's a corridor now where they have the beverage machine and the snack machine. They had everybody cram in that corridor, elbow to elbow, no social distancing. And they have the audacity to tell the people that it is for your protection. What is for their protection? But here they had part. The entire lobby in the whole building inside was empty.
So they did not have
people
a
go
tent
inside when the rain started to fall.
They didn't have no tent outside, caller?
Say that?
They didn't have any tent outside for the people?
The tent is quite by the road for the security guard only. So they had you on the eastern side of the building.
Wow.
When that rain started to fall, that wasn't with you. But the entire building inside was empty.
I understand.
And
what area is this?
Take care of this office.
This is Caroni License Office. Okay, thank you, caller. So since you're on the license office topic, right? Now listen this. Listen this. A couple of license officers called me from throughout Trinidad. Listen this. The last lockdown they had, the license office department was closed. Remember that? License office was closed during the last lockdown we had. That is when the minister said only essential workers will come out to work, and they closed down license office. So a couple license officers from throughout Trinidad called me today to ask me, Saeed, the government said only essential workers to come out, and we are outside working. I said, and on top of that, they are short staff. They are short staff. So he said, Saeed, he said the last lockdown they had, we were home. That's when the government said only essential workers to come out to work. He said, so these are another 14 days that they said is only essential workers to come out to work. And he said, they called us to work, but we are short staff. He said, and listen this. He said, a couple of them throughout Trinidad, license officers called me and tell me, say, Said, we are short staff. And this online appointment, he said, Said, when the people comes in, he said, when you hear you tell yourself you're having an 11 o'clock appointment with 2 persons, he says about 50 persons getting the 11 o'clock appointment. And he says, everybody is coming together. He said, and we are already short staff. He said, and that is causing a problem. He said, but the real issue is, if we were not essential in the last lockdown, how did we become essential in this lockdown? And he said, plenty of us are not coming out to work. Plenty of them are not coming out to work. So, I would like the Commissioner of Transport or the Minister of Transport to look into it. It's 2 things. It's either the license officers, is either they are essential or they are not essential. Because some of them are confused, and I myself are confused. Because if it's the last lockdown, they were not essential workers. How come with this 14 days now, they are essential? We had a couple of them called in today. They called me directly on my cell site, so and so is the case. So I wonder is either the Minister of Works and Transport, Rohan Sinanan, or the Commissioner of Transport for Licensing's office address your license officers. I don't business if you're a male or a female. Address the license officers. boy. Viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but nevertheless, I will be with you right after this break.
Come down to Martha Imports Limited, one of the largest wholesalers and retailers for all your 4x4, SUV and car accessories. We also have in stock a large variety of rims to suit all your vehicular needs, new arrivals of 4x4 off-road accessories, and we are the sole distributor of TWI 4x4 accessories. Check us out at number 3 Hassan Ali Trace, South Lower Barrackpore, or contact us at 654-5234, 289-4901, 271-3519 or 360-8773. We guarantee the best customer service, best deals and definitely the best wheels. Martha Imports Limited. We put our customers first. Come down to Martha Imports Limited, one of the largest wholesalers and retailers.
So welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. Remember, share our page, Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Like and share our page, viewers. So as we move on with the COVID update, the Ministry of Health gave its update as of today, Tuesday, 1st September 2020. It shows that 38 new persons have tested positive for COVID-19. This brings the new total to 1,797 as of active cases are 1,085. The number of persons discharged remains at 685. The Ministry of Health regrets to inform the public that there are 5 additional COVID-19 related deaths, which now brings the new total of deaths to 27. 27 is the new total, viewers, and we keep climbing. Now listen to this. The use of an antigen quick test. Citizens will be able to get screened at health centers and at public hospitals for COVID-19. Health Minister Terence Singh noted that the ministry had put out close to $1 million US to purchase 160,000 test kits through the Pan American Health Organization. He noted that the previous antigen test kits that were available was not very accurate. However, the new test kits, Singh said, it is going to be a game changer.
About 2 to 3 months ago, we were being asked about antigen testing. And we did say at that time, the antigen testing that was available was not very accurate. It had between a 25 to 50% false negative failure rate. And we felt those figures were not good enough. I am happy to report that PAHO approached the Ministry of Health and the Minister of Health about 2 weeks ago to sign on to new technology, which gives us the capacity now to do antigen testing with test kits which are above or around 95% accuracy. This is going to be a game changer.
The individual said that this is going to be a game changer. A game changer. So I wonder if this is going to break down the price now from $200,000 or less to see about a COVID-19 patient. He stated that over 160,000 rapid test kits was sourced and will be an investment for around 960,000 US.
We have sourced 160,000 rapid test antigen kits, 160,000 at a cost of $6 US per test. So that is going to be an investment of around 960,000 US dollars. This test kit is in the form of like a cassette, similar to what a pregnancy test looks like now. It will be deployed once it reaches Trinidad and Tobago at the primary level and the emergency departments.
the Alsing was assured that Trinidad and Tobago order will be on the production line and should be ready soon.
I spoke with Dr. Erica Wheeler this morning. Our order through PAHO now goes into the production line because we have made a firm commitment, and we will be working assiduously with PAHO to get these tests into Trinidad and Tobago in the shortest possible time as we deepen our decentralization policy.
So viewers, that was our Minister of Health, Mr. Terence D. Alsing. So let's just wait and see how soon these test kits would arrive in T&T, as COVID-19 is not important according to the House Speaker. They are not. It is not important. But we spend $960,000 US. You see? For something not important, don't you think that figure of US is quite plenty? How now if these people are dressed comfortably in the night, boy? Serious, I wonder. But we had to have a discussion. You see, after 7:30, we will have a discussion concerning mask and the fines. So, there is the possibility of persons with criminal intent taking advantage of the mandatory wearing of masks. This is according to the Public Information Officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, Wayne Meister. He said this will make it difficult for the police to identify such person. Meister made the comments during an interview this morning. He also said that while police officers issue fixed penalty tickets for persons who fail to wear a mask, they can let good sense prevail. So the police could let good sense prevail. Let's keep that in mind. Just yesterday, the Attorney General, Faris Al-Rawi, said persons will have to wear masks when in a private vehicle with others. Hold on. After 6:30, we go and have a discussion. And I want to hear all you. He clarified the issue at the Ministry of Health media conference yesterday. So, the AG explained that this has become necessary due, this has become necessary due to PH taxi.
We're therefore compelled to recognize that it would be near impossible for law enforcement to stop every private car to figure out whether you are related to the person or living in the same household. So please understand that this is a feature of Trinidad and Tobago's recognized society, and that therefore the only exception for being in a vehicle or a vessel is if you are by yourself.
I have no idea. How he came up with that. Serious. No idea. But we will have a discussion. The AG warned persons who wear masks below their chin. He added that the only exceptions are persons who are in a car alone, children under the age of 8, or those who have reasonable excuse. AG Al-Rawi also said, while face masks are preferred, face shield will also be allowed.
There is an exception for reasonable cause or excuse. That exception is for medical or physical reasons, certain urgent situations such as escaping danger, momentarily moving for the purposes of eating or consuming drink, for taking medication.
The AG said the police will be left to determine whether a person can be charged.
It's up to the law enforcement officers to stop you. They would have reasonable suspicion because you're not wearing your mask, ask you questions, and then decide whether the law is going to be applied to you or not.
So we have a call on the line. Caller, good night.
Hi, good night, Saieed. What
Go
I
right
want to
ahead,
know
so you're live on
is
Real
that,
Talk.
you know, prior to the election or after the election time, you had 137 or something COVID cases. In less than a month, we jumped up to 1,700. You know, that is very, very strange, you know. How is it that the jump, was it there and they didn't know, or is it that because of the electioneering purposes that we have this massive jump? Now the thing about fining children 8 years old, what about those delinquent children that is roaming and this and that? Are you going to penalize the parents from 8 years old? What I'm seeing in this society, there are a lot of people, poor people, very, very poor people who cannot afford masks. Why is it that the government, if you want to implement something, why don't you have an outlet that people who cannot afford have access to these masks? And now I hear the opposition is saying, you know, there was clause in the legislation. Why on earth did you support the legislation? Why on earth? Why didn't you abstain or vote against it? How could you bring legislation incomplete? The only thing I'm saying is that this lady was bullied when she was opposition leader. She was bullied as prime minister. Now she is being bullied again. And if she cannot stand up for the rights of the people, madam, step down. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, my friend. So listen to this. The new mask legislations apply to all citizens. This was announced by the Attorney General, Mr. Faris Al-Rawi, at Monday's Ministry of Health virtual press conference. Al-Rawi noted that children over the age of 8 can be fined $1,000 for not wearing a mask in public. However, he noted that children under the age of 18 are exempted from wearing a mask and cannot be fined.
And age 8 has been the number selected because in the law currently in Trinidad and Tobago, you cannot prosecute a child for any offense if that child is under 8 years of age. That's what we call the Dolly Incapax rule in law. You are not capable of having a criminal intent if you're under 8 years of age.
Al-Rawi stated that parents and guardians will be held accountable for any child over the age of 18 not wearing a mask.
Whether the child is in public or whether the child is in a vehicle or a vessel, that child wears a face mask, and that the person with responsibility who has that child with him or her, that person will be held liable for the breach of the law.
He further stated that if the child is unaccompanied, the child can be fined. So viewers, we're going to have a discussion. Trinidad, because we did a little research here in Real Talk. Trinidad is the only Caribbean country that there's a legislation passed to wear a mask and a fine to pay if you do not. So, in Jamaica, they made it mandatory. In Venezuela, they made it mandatory. But there's no legislations in any Caribbean countries to pay a fine for not wearing a mask. Check it yourself. Go check it yourself. Trinidad is the only Caribbean countries where we have to pay a fine for not wearing a mask. Anybody over the age of 8 will have to pay a fine if you're not wearing your mask. Go check for yourself. Check it for yourself. Because two of my former workers now say are spreading bad rumors and they label out Saieed Ali of Real Talk on Synergy TV. I put a post on a page. TNT is the only Caribbean countries to pass legislations and pay a fine for not wearing a mask. Hear what they did. 2 former employees, eh? Hear how they so want to spread my name bad. They so want to say we send out false information to the public. You know what I do? They cut half of the post and throw it up on their page, and they did not show the next half. That is what they did. And they're saying I'm Real Talk with Saieed Ali spreading bad information. Let me tell you something. I don't put $100 or $150 on a data plan for the month and sit down in my bedroom and talk. I don't do that. It has cost me over $150,000 a month to run a production. So you see the cutting out posts and posting up, I want to say Real Talk spreading bad info. When a man said it to me, I just watch it and laugh. They just watch it and laugh. And you see, they know that everything Real Talk put on the table, there's research and facts behind it. But like I said, I just started with the Facebook thing. So listen to the police commissioner. Police Commissioner Gary Griffith said that his officers are ready to enforce the new mandatory mask law. Griffith stated that him along with the police service are now ready. They are now ready to go ahead and charge individuals. So he said that the police service are not here to try and justify the law. He also said there is going to be no need for training. The law is very straightforward. The commissioner mentioned that there are many questions about the new law implemented, and he has taken notes. He have also taken note of the comments. However, he stated that the police will be moving towards enforcing the law. So viewers, that was the Commissioner of Police. So listen, Al Jazeera News, Venezuela was among the first country to impose mandatory use of masks in public back in March. Venezuela was the first country to implement the mandatory use of masks. So listen this now. That's in March month, Venezuela took that initiative, but not no legislation. You ain't paying if you don't have a mask. It's a mandatory to wear a mask. On April 21st, Jamaica imposed a series of new coronavirus restrictions, such as a revised curfew, and also made it mandatory for citizens to wear a face mask in public. So those are the only 2 countries that made it mandatory. You see, I have a research team here that does research. And one of the individuals that does research for me also has 14 years experience in media. 14 years experience. I tell you this course. Hence the reason why I just educate the public. Because my researchers just do their research. They don't just get a story and print it out and Saieed look, no, it's not like that. It's research back into it. So when I tell you, go check for yourself, I know it is solid grounds it came from. Caller, good night.
Good evening, Mr. Said.
To you, my friend.
Said, you know what's really jokey about this whole scenario? When nobody wasn't required to wear masks, and bandits was wearing masks and robbing people in broad daylight, the police couldn't catch them.
True, true.
Now everybody wearing masks, and the people who is not wearing, the police want to lock them up.
True. Well said.
Really feel that makes sense?
Well said.
And then the whole issue about penalizing the people. You see, when a government doesn't have trust in their own self, and they don't trust the people, the innocent, decent people in the country have to pay now for the few delinquents.
Yes.
Because the government, it come like if you don't trust nobody, you keep the good people too. So now we face a situation where this government operates in a dictatorship mentality, that as soon as it cannot get the cooperation of the population, now everybody in the minus a few was adhering to all the restrictions, all the safety guidance that the government laid out and supported it. There were a few delinquents, but when the population started to realize the way the government behaving, that everything they're doing, they do it with a certain amount of ignorance and a certain amount of dictatorship, they now come in to penalize the people. And just like the traffic tickets, the speeding, the seatbelt, every single thing, you need to get the trust of the people, and the people will support you.
Yes.
And you don't have to go down this way of imposing heavy penalty on the population. We are already a population. The poverty is getting wider and wider and is more and more. And these people are realizing that as yet. But again, they have their means of filling their pockets, and who live, live, and who die, die. That is their mentality in this country. Have a good evening, Mr. Stein.
Thank you, my friend. So, I want to ask Trinidad and Tobago, or the Attorney General, and the Health Minister of Trinidad and Tobago and his team, what caused the fine? How did you all come up to implement a fine while wearing a mask? It's only in Trinidad. It's only in Trinidad. Why? Why a fine? You know how hard it is to get an 8 and a 9-year-old to put on a mask? You know how hard it is for them to walk down the street, cannot breathe properly with a mask on? And then the Prime Minister will come out and say, no, when the public started to complain, well, all this time we had to wear this mask, and people complaining about the fine. Here the Prime Minister, well, just wear a mask, we won't have to pay the fine. That is the same man who said we're not shutting down petrol train. Boom shot. According to SPNA, everybody going. So what is it that you all, is it that Trinidad and Tobago in a debt? Because I hear him mention that COVID-19 caused a $15 billion debt. We in a hole. How COVID could cause a $15 billion debt? When we got $150 million US to see about COVID-19. How did Trinidad and Tobago end up in a $15 billion debt? How did we end up in that hole? How? Caller, good night.
Good night.
Go right ahead.
Good night, Mr. Said, first time caller.
Welcome to Real Talk. Where are you calling from, my friend?
I'm calling from East Trinidad.
East?
Yeah.
Go right ahead, you're live.
You know, Said, we could understand that we have to wear masks. Right? But I believe we could let the government pay a fine now. Because one of the thing we have to do is to wash the hand regular.
Yes.
And some of the constituents does not have water. So all the people who are not getting water in the constituents, they bring the government to tax now and say, well, you have to pay the money now. You understand?
I understand what you're saying.
So I don't see the reason why that they want to fine me for wearing a mask, and when we open it up in the morning, we have no water to wash your hands, because they're telling you, wash your hand, wash your hand, wash your hand. Where's the water to wash your hand?
I understand. Thank you, my friend. So listen this now. Listen this. The law passed last week by Parliament to mandate mask wearing to curb the COVID-19 epidemic was unfair to the public and the police officers who must enforce it. This was a view expressed by Opposition Senator Jawanti Lachmidal. She issued a statement saying that the mask law under the coronavirus regulation number 26 was half-baked, wish-wash, and ineffective, she said. She also goes on to say the alleged Attorney General, Mr. Faris Al-Rawi, had failed to bring the mandate face mask legislation to Parliament, but instead had empowered the Health Minister, Terence Dialsing, to make regulations. She alleged that the AG had ignored opposition members in both houses of the law to subject to the inquiries of Parliament. This is called, she said, was also made by some independent senator. According to her, the law now leaves the public confused and uninformed. Why are you charging the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago for not wearing a mask? This is what I want to know. Because I will tell you something. There are many citizens in Trinidad and Tobago that cannot breathe properly when you have on a mask. You know why? You're studying COVID-19, but the Sahara dust. Let me tell you something. Wearing a mask and having a problem to breathe with Sahara dust, it will kill you. Because when your brain don't get the oxygen it needs, what will happen? What will happen? What will happen? What are you going to tell a police officer now? Well, I have problem breathing. I have problem breathing with the Sahara dust. What the officer going to tell you? Because of the fact that it is a legislation now, we will have to charge you? You see, I will stand here and tell you that, you know why? Because the Sahara dust it is bother me. It is bother me. It does bother me. I just get a problem to breathe once it have a thick Sahara dust in the air. My staff could tell anybody that. So what about the old age people now? What about the people who have medical conditions? Did you all check to them? Why not make it mandatory to wear a mask like Jamaica and Venezuela did in March and April, but you all put a fine to it? Let me ask you something. Are you all owing some big loan that you all see that you can't make it back from the citizens, and the only thing you could do is to implement a mask law with a fine? Is only in Trinidad. Only in Trinidad. So that is why I am advising you on national television now to go and check. If you're viewing from Facebook or YouTube, go and check and see if any Caribbean countries made it a legislation with a fine. They made it mandatory, not with a fine. Come now, man, AG man. You see, I will tell you something. You see what the Prime Minister talked about, that $15 billion debt? We go have a problem right there. Because the mask wearing is to generate funds. I am telling you that whether you want. Yes, we understand to wear a mask. But don't tell me, Saeed, a sick man, I had to wear this mask, and I had to go in the grocery, and it have nobody to go, and then you have your little child. You know how hard it is for a little child to put on a mask? Any parent would tell you. At 8 years, at 9 years, at 10 years, they will see problem to keep on a mask. Since we have VUPs and VAPs, they talk about science, and they're moving with science. Ask him how long an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old could keep on a mask. Ask VUPs and VAPs that. Ask the one who believes in science, Terence Dialsing. Come out and tell the public, how long can a child keep on a mask? And you want to play doctor? Come out and tell the public. Watch me, I have a lot of doctor friends. And watch me, when this law passed, my phone rang off the hook. Saeed, what's wrong with these ministers and them? We're talking about a little child. And furthermore, what gets into the AG head to pay a fine for children over 8 years? We're Mr. VUPs and VAPs. The man who said they're following science. Come out and tell the public that. Because I will tell you something. If the human being doesn't breathe in oxygen, we're dead like fly. We're dead like fly. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. I will be with you right after this, but we will continue this discussion.
Come down to Martha Imports Limited, one of the largest wholesalers and retailers for all your 4x4, SUV and car accessories. We also have in stock a large variety of rims to suit all your vehicular needs, new arrivals of 4x4 off-road accessories, and we are the sole distributor of TWI 4x4 accessories. Check us out at number 3 Hassan Ali Trace, South Lower Barrapore, or contact us at 654-5234, 289-4901, 271-3519 or 360-8773. We guarantee the best customer service, best deals and definitely the best wheels. Martha Imports Limited. We put our customers first. Come down to Martha Imports Limited, one of the largest wholesalers and retailers.
So viewers, Trinidad and Tobago Chambers of Commerce have voiced their support for the mandatory mask wearing legislation passed on Saturday. The amendment for the public health audience make it an offense or fail to wear mask in public space. So the AG was talking now. Even the husband and wife and the children sit down in the car, you have to wear mask. It better you all come out with our legislation to wear mask inside the house too. Watch my nama. You see this legislation is one of the most foolishest thing come out. Serious. It's a form of generating funds. And you know who have to pay for it? The child who is 8 years and over, the old people, and the people who have medical problems. Imagine you're going for pension. You're going for pension, and you're down in the bank, and you line up in the hot sun because only a certain amount could go inside the bank, and you have on a mask, and you're there with your cook stick. And it have police watching. Imagine that. VUPs and VAPs, did you think about that? To the Attorney General, did you think about that? Let me tell you something. If nobody in Trinidad and Tobago will light up all about that foolish law, that foolish legislation, I would support the mandatory mask wearing. I would support that. But don't tell me you add a fine to it. That's madness. That is madness. Any parent would tell you it is hard for a child to keep on a mask in public. Any doctor, Any nurse will tell you that. So whoops and vaps. If a child, a 9-year child, don't get oxygen in their brain, what will happen? Since you're following science, and since you're following medical rules, what will happen? Did you all thought of that? But let me tell you something. All they look like halfway doctors. Take what I tell you. That is one of, you see, for the rest of this week, I will be hammering on this law. For the rest of this week. For the rest of this week. Because I will tell you something, it have plenty people out there who the Sahara dust is give them problem. And just imagine, you and your wife sit down in the car, two all you have to wear mask. You come out the grocery, you sit down in the car, you're wearing mask until you reach inside the house. What's the difference? AG, what is the difference? You tell me. The Commissioner of Police, what is the difference? You tell me. And all are going in the same bloody house? Eh? And the husband and the wife and the children sitting down in the car when I go home. And all are together? So here this next thing now. A family of 3 or 4, you have on your mask, you come out from wherever you went, you sit down in the car, mask up, your AC on, and you're going down the road, whoops and vaps, you pull up inside your house. It's only day you can take off the mask. Think about that. Think about that. Think about it, whoops and vaps. Mr. Terence Yalsing, you think about that. To the Attorney General, let's sit down and think. To the Health Ministry in Trinidad and Tobago, those on the medical boards, sit down and think about it. Let's sit down and think. Because the halfway crooked law they bring out, it's not going to work. Because when people start falling down, because lack of oxygen to their brains, I hope you all are ready to pay people. Because they would say, because of this law, I have to wear this mask. And let me tell you something. Hey, I would laugh. Trinidad is a tropical country. A tropical country. So viewers, very soon, the video on screen? Very soon, viewers, Real Talk will be having an executive rental. Now, these vehicles that you are seeing on screen, they are my personal vehicles, convertibles. Now, these are private vehicles that is not for the public, right? They are my vehicles and them. But what I am doing, because of the fact that I am raising funds to build the Rape Crisis Center for rape victims in Trinidad, I have decided to rent out my 2 personal vehicles for wedding and events. You know, you have a wedding, you want an executive ride, a convertible, it's for rent. You know, you're going to an event and you want a nice ride. My 2 convertible, my Mercedes-Benz and my BMW will be soon available to citizens of Trinidad and Tobago for rental on wedding occasions or special events. Now, the reason why I am doing this, come back to me. The reason why I am doing this is to generate funds for the Rape Crisis Center. They are my personal vehicles. Like I said, I could live an up-and-up life, you know. But it's just that being a spiritual person and somebody doing spiritual work and being a Muslim also, I remain humble. I don't let wealth get to my head. Because I go tell you something. When they go in the cemetery and they dig a grave, it's only you and the box and the clothes you have on going down there, you know. The money you go in, the car you go in, the house you go in. Watch me. As much as you love your wife and your children, them ain't going with you. So I have learned that, to be humble in life. To be humble in life. So, just a recap of tonight's show. I would like the Health Minister, Terence D'Alsing, to sit down back with the medical board, because I will be hammering this legislation and this fine for this children to pay. I will be hammering that whole week, and I want to hear what all you have to say. Secondly, I would like the Commissioner of Transport or the Works and Transport Minister to sit down with license officers, call a meeting, let them know if they are essential or not. Oh, and before we go any further, last week, from Monday to Sunday, right? Over 150 single mothers in Trinidad and Tobago with children have reached out to me for help. So viewers, before our time is up, I hope we are still on Synergy TV, right? So here what we Real Talk going and do. Real Talk will be collecting donation. We are going to have a food drive like I did before. Remember when we did our food drive, they were getting market stuff, they were getting a grocery bag, and they were getting a chicken, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm asking citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to please make a contribution of $1,000 for the food drive towards the single mothers of Trinidad. So my friend, I am asking this. From tonight, watch me, from Monday to Sunday last week, over 150 single mothers have contacted me for help, right? Because some of them are waiting on salary grant, they are waiting on rental assistance, and they have not received any. And they have reached out to me. So tonight, viewers, I'm asking you, the public, please make a contribution of $1,000. We need to raise at least $250,000 in order to help these single mothers. So spread the word throughout Trinidad and Tobago. We at Real Talk is doing another food drive, and I need your support. This time is for the single mothers, the single parent who have 2 kids and 3 kids. We are not raising food for money for laptop. We are raising money to buy food to help these single mothers. So this is what I'm asking you, viewers. Please get in touch with us, 238-6716, 339-1670, and make a contribution to the single parents in Trinidad. We want to deliver food for them, and I need your help. So viewers, please get in touch with us. We need to raise $250,000 in order to help these single mothers. They have no support, none, and they have reached out to us. So our time is up now, but nevertheless, we will be with you right here tomorrow night on Synergy TV from 7 to 8. And when our show is finished, there's a lot more to watch on Synergy TV. So viewers, be safe. Enjoy your night. Until we meet again, good night.